From across our own international network, we deliver audit, tax and advisory services to some of the world's largest players in the mining and resources sector.
Whether you are looking for investors, seeking to implement more sustainable operations, undertaking a modern slavery statement, or considering your tax structuring, our team is well placed to assist you.
Hi, my name is Nick Smith and I'm the Executive Director of the Growth and Low Carbon Division for the South Australian Department for Energy and Mining. Today I'm going to talk to you about the road to decarbonisation, technology and investment across the mining and resources sector. Before we start, I'd like to do an acknowledgement of country. The Department for Energy and Mining acknowledges Aboriginal people as the first peoples of South Australia. We recognise and respect the cultural connections as the traditional owners and occupants of the lands and water of South Australia, and that they continue to make a unique and irreplaceable contribution to the state. So it's been a big year. 2020, decarbonisation. We've had bushfires at the start of the year. It felt like the whole of Australia was on fire, followed rapidly by a slip into COVID-19 and the lockdowns. We've seen significant changes as a result of lockdowns, and we've seen very significant and tangible impacts on decarbonisation. So if in the graph up to the right-hand side, you can see the impact of the lockdowns globally on fossil CO2 emissions on a daily basis, mainly driven by surface transport, industry and power reductions. We saw some amazing stuff where the Himalayas were visible for the first time in 35 years from India, parts of India. And I think that this has been really important and it's taught businesses that a lot of businesses have had to learn how to adapt and they've managed it pretty well. The UNFCCC has really seen a significant uptake since last year in the number of organisations, governments, regions, businesses and universities that are looking to go to net zero emissions. And our biggest trading partner of all, China, has committed to net zero emissions by 2060. Japan's committed to net zero emissions by 2050. So it's been a big year and there's lots of things happening around decarbonisation, which is a critical point for us to keep our temperatures under 2 degrees. And preferably under 1.5. So what's been driving a lot of the change? We've seen enormous changes in our energy systems, and we've seen, there's sort of 3 burning platforms around how we can integrate technology and achieve decarbonisation across our sectors that we've, really thought pretty hard to do. The burning platform has been decarbonisation and the scaling up of solar and renewables. The smarts that integrate them and the battery systems and the storage systems that allow you to integrate them with the existing generation portfolios. We're still learning on that path, but going hand in hand with that, there's been the digital disruption and the massive growth in computer capability and technology and sensors and the Internet of Things, and the integration of the 3 is creating a huge energy system transformation and offers enormous opportunities. If I talk about Australia, we have some incredibly unique, I should say, renewable energy resources, because we have also incredibly good fossil fuel energy resources as well. This map here is an overlay of the solar and wind production areas across Australia. And the darker solar is greater than 23.5 megajoules a square metre. Wind is shown at 7.31 metres per second. And where you get the green is where you have coincidental solar and wind. It's, as you can see, there's little parts up in Queensland, predominantly South Australia and southern Western Australia, really have that coincidental solar and wind. And what that means is that the ability to operate off renewables becomes much greater. And modelling that we're seeing at the moment is that you can run hydrogen electrolysers off renewable resources in the Upper Spencer Gulf around the Whyalla, Port Augusta region, with greater than 75% efficiency or utilisation of the electrolysers just running off of renewables. So Australia is absolutely blessed with renewable resources and the opportunities that this helps to decarbonise the rest of the world who are not so fortunate as us. We're also seeing this in terms of the scale up, in terms of falling costs. We've seen solar PV plummet in price really from 2010. It's now the cheapest form of energy that you can produce. We've seen the same with onshore wind. It's falling down. You can see in this graph here, concentrating solar power's come down, but not quite as much. Offshore wind is coming down the path and still has a long way to go. And the grey bar down the bottom is the fossil fuel cost range. So we're seeing that renewables is rapidly outpacing fossil fuels in terms of cost competitiveness. Now this is sourced from ARENA, but this is where the future potentially lies. And in South Australia, we've been at the vanguard. You can see us there on the bar on the second from the right. Denmark is the world's leading variable renewable energy penetration across the annual generation. South Australia, in this graph, from 2019, we're up around the high 40s. For 2019-20, we're expecting it to be around 57% renewable penetration, and we're rapidly heading towards net zero emissions from our energy sector, for our electricity sector, by 2030s, and it looks like we're heading that way pretty closely. It's created a lot of challenges, but it's created a lot of intellectual capital here in terms of how you can integrate renewables into the energy system. And the upside of this is that the high penetration of renewables means that energy-intensive manufacturing, mining, we're seeing all sorts of different things going on across the mining and resources sector where they're looking to integrate renewables because it offers a cost competitive advantage. Combined with this, we also see the benefits of ICT, the Internet of Things, AI and machine learning and big data. This is a fantastic slide that summarises it from Nokia in terms of how the use of AI and IT can really change the way that we operate. Many miners and organisations are already starting to look at automation and electrification of their fleets and utilisation of machine learning. And I think the opportunities to use, to create sensors and capture that data and use the AI to do, task analysis and really provide that really rapid response, combined with the move from 4G to 5G. We're going from 100 megabits per second to a gigawatt per second with the 5G rollout. It enables a much faster real-time data to provide productivity improvements, do the work that took longer time. You don't have to use it to displace human behaviour, but you can use it to add value, improve processing, improve productivity, improve efficiency and safety, and increase the optimisation of your assets. The fact that it's going to be cloud-based creates some security issues in terms of cyber security, but it's a really interesting space and it offers up so many opportunities to integrate with renewable electricity and the smarts that are required to operate effectively. And the fact that computer systems are now and appliances and equipment is now becoming much smarter provides the opportunity to really improve. If we think about Australia's lifestyle, we have a fantastic lifestyle. We have a relatively high cost of living by comparison with other parts of the world, but we do have an enormous natural competitive advantage in terms of our resources sector and our renewables, and we need to utilise these to the best of our ability to really capture some of these opportunities. So I guess, what does it look like in the future? This is one example of what it might look like. So we've got some solar and wind co-located so that we can get the maximum efficiency out of them. We've got electrification of mine fleets. We've got AI thrown in there to help process improvements and integrate the solar and the utilisation of the fleets and the processing. We might throw a little bit of hydrogen in there to support the fleet vehicles initially, or it might be for backup generation when the wind and solar is not there. There's a whole range of things. It might be for actual processing of resources. So there's the opportunity to try and decarbonise processing and utilise renewable ammonia, produce that on site, and for a remote mine site where it's been difficult to justify the investment, suddenly solar and wind with a combination of hydrogen in the future offers up an opportunity to actually be energy, control your energy input and know what they look like, which de-risks those sort of investments. You can't control your commodity pricing, but you can actually control your input costs and have a much better understanding of that. So we think that this offers up significant opportunities for productivity and growth in the future. Looking at it from an oil and gas perspective, we've already seen the move, up in the Cooper Basin where they're looking to use solar to produce at the wellheads. We've seen solar at refineries to improve the productivity and the utilisation of the gas. If we combine it with carbon capture and storage and AI and the integration of when these things are all happening in real time, very fast response times, I've thrown in there a little bit of export modelling for hydrogen, the shipping. There are these massive opportunities for the resources sector, particularly the gas markets, to help decarbonise that platform and their portfolio of gases and products that they're selling around the world. We already have outstanding relationships with our trading partners in Asia and around the world, and this is the opportunity to utilise those to increase the profitability of organisations and help other countries achieve their decarbonisation goals. So what's the upside? I guess for our side of things, we see decarbonisation and co-location of sector coupling as critical. Decarbonisation of green minerals such as steel, copper, rare earths, critical minerals, greening of gases, through synthetic methane, carbon capture, direct air CO2 capture, hydrogen itself as a gas, or blending it with natural gas to help decarbonise that. That's a massive opportunity for people to actually help with the transition over time, whilst actually gaining knowledge and reducing the risk of a single changeover at any one point. The AI and machine learning just has massive opportunities. By and large, the process and protocols and the Six Sigma and the lean methodology that's used across the mining and resources sector adds value to utilising AI and machine learning. Understanding tasks and where the opportunities to utilise machine learning and AI in data analysis is fantastic. It also identifies where the gaps might be and what data do you need to capture. So there's things that will help you out of the AI side of things. We're expecting that AI and autonomous driving and the ability to work in dangerous areas is going to improve safety and outcomes. Using lean to go green is going to improve environmental outputs. And really, actually playing a leading role globally in decarbonisation of the mining and resources sector only improves reputational outcomes. It's a hot topic. Our younger generations are coming through. They're very focused around this, and companies that are looking to move and adapt and innovate are improving their reputations all the time. I think importantly, renewables, really the upfront capital cost of renewables is the main cost. The operational cost of running renewables is quite low. And what it does, if you're producing hydrogen as a fuel or a hydrogen derivative as maybe ammonia internal combustion engines in the mine haul trucks, for example, what it does enable organisations and boards and executives to do is understand the input costs for production. We're seeing that you can't control what the commodity pricing is, but you can control your input costs and understand what your real cost of production is going to be. being a decarbonised platform is being more attractive for global capital who are looking to put their portfolio where their supporters are in terms of greening, corporate sustainability, and also if we're able to decarbonise our product portfolios, steels and oils and gases, it produces globally very attractive portfolios for export, which is a significant upside. But there are some challenges. Technology adoption is always a risk for first movers, but we're seeing some really good collaboration between government, research, industry, who are looking to capture the knowledge and share the intellectual capital and reduce the risk of being first movers. So I think that there's some really good upside there in terms of continuing to collaborate and understand what the challenges are of moving into that space. Cybersecurity is going to remain a key issue. We're starting to see an increased focus on it internationally, with potential. We see hacking of databases and information. Cybersecurity in a mine site and in energy systems is critical to ensure that you're not open to hacking and running equipment to destruction. So I think that's a challenge that will continue to evolve as the computing power continues to operate. With any new industry and new technology, there's always the skills and workforce training and availability challenge. Upskilling, new technology training is going to be critical. And a lot of this information will feed into enabling governments and standard holders to develop much better, more flexible, certain, transparent regulations, codes and standards that are fit for purpose and are flexible enough to allow for technology adaptation. So I think if I talk about summarising what I've just discussed, we think that decarbonisation of mineral resources and the mineral and resources sectors offer significant growth opportunities for South Australian companies and Australian companies, and the ability to export around the world in new energy systems. It takes, as Alan Finkel calls it, it's called shipping our sunshine, and I think it's a fantastic opportunity. By bringing that back to Australia and processing our products here a little bit more, we actually create extra sovereign wealth. We create extra royalties, extra value, create a better lifestyle for our future generations, and we help countries that are finding it difficult to decarbonise get there earlier. The use of AI, it can just only help increase productivity and support more informed decision making with real-time data. Robotics will ultimately be able to do stuff that humans can't do in more dangerous areas. It improves the safety of mines and improves the real-time data. The big data analysis is the big challenge at the moment, but AI is improving that. I think importantly, Australia can leverage its natural competitive advantage. We just have this fantastic opportunity to help decarbonise industry and global markets, and we should be looking to do that wherever we can, because global markets need the innovations. They are going to need us to be innovative and providing green products to them to help them meet their zero emissions targets. And in South Australia, we're very confident that what we've done so far and where we are headed now has already developed strong pathways to support industry to grow and adapt. We released our energy and mining strategy recently. We've been leading the Australian marketplace in terms of hydrogen planning and road and delivery of projects since 2017. We're internationally connected. We're highly regarded in the Fraser Institute for our regulatory environment, and we are absolutely focused around how we can green our steel industries, copper industries, improve our efficiency in mine sites, because we've got fantastic opportunities, but they can be quite complex to make really profitable. So we're working with people, and we've developed a lot of programs. So we'd encourage you to have a look at that. With that, my contact details are here on the second to last slide. If you'd like to contact me for anything or have a discussion with my team, we're here to capture the economic value and help industry transition across. Finally, just a disclaimer. So thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your day.
From across our own international network, we deliver audit, tax and advisory services to some of the world's largest players in the mining and resources sector.
Whether you are looking for investors, seeking to implement more sustainable operations, undertaking a modern slavery statement, or considering your tax structuring, our team is well placed to assist you.